Hi, I'm Juju. My real name's Julian, but most people just call me Juju. And I am currently kind of in between years of vet school because I'm in the VSTP program, which is the dual degree program for getting your vet degree, your DVM, and also your PhD. So I finished the first 2 years of vet school, and then now I'm in the first year of my PhD. So I'll finish my whole PhD before I actually come back to vet school for the last 2 years afterwards. So I'm kind of in the in-between, but I've officially finished my second year of vet school. And in terms of my focus, I am kind of also in between things. Obviously, I'm interested in research, but I am more interested in immunology and particularly like large animals, so like food animal and livestock, like infectious diseases and how that relates to maybe public health. So we'll see where I end up. I have a long time here still.
My name is Gabriela Monico, and I am currently a second-year veterinary student. I am currently tracking small animal medicine. So far, at the end of our second year, we are in a course called Clinical Foundations, and it is the application of all of the physiology we have learned over the past 2 years. So this is kind of the fun part where we get to see how this information is clinically applied.
Yeah, so in terms of classes, my favorite, actually very surprisingly, most other vet students really dislike this class, but it was the immunology and infectious disease block, which, as I said, that's kind of what I'm interested in doing. So I think I was probably one of like maybe 5 people in the class that really liked it, mostly because it's just a lot of information and there's so many diseases and so many things to remember about how they interact and what animals they affect. But personally, I think that's pretty exciting because you get to kind of play more detective. I mean, kind of all of vet school is being detective, but I really like immunology. And then kind of a project, one of the clubs I'm involved in on campus is the Covelo Clinic, so I'm one of the head coordinators. So the Covelo Clinic is an access to care clinic that is student run, and we travel to the Mendocino County area, specifically Covelo, California, which is on the Round Valley Reservation, and we're able to provide free vet care to the animals there that don't have a vet around for at least 2 hours away. So we'll give them like vaccines or flea and tick medication, or we'll do like spays and neuters, or we'll even do small procedures too, like a leg amputation or mass removals. So, and we go there 3 times a year. We do August, November, and March. So of course, we wish we could do more, but we're able to at least go to that community that doesn't have very much vet care and then give them at least 3 times a year where they can get stuff for their animals. So that's been really rewarding, being able to be in touch with that community, but also, getting to learn really great things about vet care. And then we also bring a lot of the faculty with us that are the actual veterinarians there. So we get to meet them, hang out with them outside of the actual school too. Yeah, I want to say I had a couple thousand. I don't have the number off the top of my head right now, but I want to say it was a couple of thousand hours. And that was just built up from, when I was in high school and I was doing, I think, maybe 5 hours a week there, just shadowing and volunteering there. And then that accumulated, I believe I did that my last 2 years of high school. And then through the other programs that I mentioned, like just shadowing dairy veterinarians or working with the lab animal veterinarians. And then additionally, in my summers, I would also go back home to that vet clinic that I was able to volunteer at during high school. And they actually hired me as a vet tech as well. So I had like that whole summer where I was working full time. I don't think, obviously, anyone has to be working full time to get your hours as well. I think it's pretty easy to get the 180, especially if you're, doing things in between years during all of your undergrad. So I didn't personally need to take any extra time outside of like my 4 years during my undergrad career to accumulate what I felt was sufficient hours.
I think it was a total of 1,200 hours that I did of just practicing animal medicine. To complete around 1,200 hours of hours, I took about 1.5 years. So after I pivoted into veterinary medicine, I was based in Houston, Texas. And so there I was able to join a shelter medicine clinic. And after that, I did work at just community clinics. And I did a total of 3 clinics to work with small animals. And then I also wanted to get large animal experience. And so I did a mobile vet, and we would ride around in her truck, and we would visit ranches out in Houston. And we did work with horses, donkeys, goats, cattle, and that's how I explored large animal medicine.
There was a local vet hospital, and I asked them, would it be okay if I just came and shadowed here one day a week, and I would just go after class while I was in high school, and then they would let me just hang out. And basically, in the beginning, of course, they're a little bit hesitant to really let me get in there and do anything because I am just a student, and there's liability, blah, blah, blah. But when they became more comfortable with me, I was able to, get away from just standing in the room with the veterinarian and seeing what their interactions are like, to actually being able to handle some of the animals and help them with restraining or giving injections or drawing blood, which was really, really cool. Of course, I would still do things like cleaning the kennels, of course. As a volunteer, you get stuck with kind of the things that nobody else wants to do, but it was a really great experience, and it really showed me kind of what that looked like on a day-to-day basis, and not just what I envisioned in my head. Back home, I was able to connect with a large animal veterinarian, and I, similarly to what I did in high school, just asked him if I could come along with him, and he would let me ride in the truck because they would do dairy calls super early in the morning. I'm very grateful to my dad. He would drive me to their station at 4:30 a.m. and drop me off, and then we would go out to some of the dairies, and they taught me how to do palpations and basic things about working in the large animal space as well. And then on top of that, the school that I was at for undergrad had a lot of research, which is obviously tied into what I'm wanting to do now as well. But with research, there's a lot of research animals and lab animals. So I similarly reached out to the veterinary staff there, and they also let me kind of hang out with them, shadow. But then again, once they got comfortable with me, I also was able to do procedures with them. They would do really amazing things in order to do research on these lab animals that could be translated to human health, including bypass open heart surgery on sheep that they were using to do valve replacements, I believe, that they were hoping to then put into human patients. So I would be able to help with them restraining the sheep, putting in an IV catheter, all of those things, which I think you wouldn't normally expect from a lab animal research space. Most people just think of the mice, which are also very cool. But being able to do large animals as well is really awesome. To afford vet school, actually, the program that I'm a part of, the VSTP program, the dual degree with getting a PhD, actually pays for all of my school. So they pay for all my tuition for both vet school and then also my PhD, as well as giving me a living stipend. So it's really nice. I don't have to take out any loans. But of course, if I wasn't a part of this program, that probably is something that I would be doing. My first year, I also worked almost full time at one of the fast food restaurants here in town. So it was definitely a lot to manage, but it was also very doable, and I kind of enjoyed it a little bit. I mean, not a little bit. I did enjoy it because it was kind of a nice time for me to shut off my brain and kind of do some things that weren't vet related, which was nice. And then I also got free food, so can't complain. But yeah, it is tough in terms of finances, of course. And I feel very lucky that I'm in a program like this.